President Donald Trump is waiting to hear the results tonight from Palm Beach. That's where we find Capitol reporter Forrest Saunders.
And Forrest, former President Trump spoke to voters this morning after voting himself.
Yeah, that's right. I'm standing at his watch party right now, and you're starting to see a slow trickle of people into this event. We don't have a whole bunch yet, but that's because it's very, very early. I can say I did spot at least one garbage vest out there in the crowd, so that is still happening. But we also heard from him earlier today when he was casting a paper ballot in person in West Palm. He stopped to talk with reporters for a little bit. And one of the things that Trump has been criticized for over the last couple of weeks is not staying on message. He was asked, what are the big issues in this race in these final moments? Here's what he had to say.
We want people to come into our country, but they have to come in legally. We want strong borders, and we want people to come in. We want to be totally inclusive, but they have to come in. I think that was a big issue. To me, that was the biggest issue. I may be wrong. A lot of people said inflation. Inflation's a disaster, but I think it's a second issue. I think the first is the border.
So, as you heard there, we have the border, we have immigration, the economy. Two of the top issues for a lot of voters. One thing he didn't mention was abortion. That's obviously a big one, too. And the question is, once we get the results, how big of issue will it have been for the voters that turned out? Trump was asked about his support for Amendment 4 here in Florida, and he actually told the reporter to stop talking about it. Now, in the past, he has said that he is in support of Amendment 4, which would, he's against Amendment 4, which would codify abortion protections up to the point of viability. He said the 6-week ban that we currently have in place is too short, but he is not going so far as to open it all the way up to viability, which is why he's down on Amendment 4. But again, that's what he said previously. He basically left it at that. Now we are just waiting to find out if he shows up at his watch party tonight. He said earlier today that he might. Just depends on if there are results to talk about and if he has some of these big victories. So that is another thing that we're going to wait and watch for. But for now, as I said, people slowly trickling in. This is going to be a place to wait and watch and see what happens. But hey, it's a big question mark tonight, and that's one of the things we're waiting to find out is what the answer is to the 2024 question, guys.
All right, Forrest, thank you. A big waiting game tonight.